Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. An Online Trading Academy, the sponsor of the show, on their 25th year, teaching everyday investors and traders how to get started in the markets, but also how to continue and build longevity in these financial markets, whether you're trading stocks, options, futures, Forex, short-term income strategies, or long-term wealth strategies. We actually have live investing classes physically right here in Denver, Colorado, and Bloomington, Minnesota. If you missed tickets on the last segment, you can just call right now. So get your phone ready. Call 888-682-6466. Al teaches these right here locally. 888-682-6466. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848 for 2 tickets. When you do that, you're also going to receive a quick start kit that includes some free stock picks and will help you get started right away. So, Al, we talked about more shorter-term income strategies on that last segment. You know, how investors can utilize the other markets with leverage. You basically that what that means is using smaller amounts of capital. That's what the brokers require less, basically. And also, they're open 24 hours a day, which allows investors and traders to trade any time of day. That you actually dictate when you do that because it's open around the clock, not just 6.5 hours a day like the stock market. So kind of shifting over to the wealth side of things. So anytime we talk about wealth, that would be like your wealth accounts, your 401ks, your IRAs, 403b, TSP, whatever wealth account that you have. And that's hopefully a bigger bucket of money. That's what you would hope that would be. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have enough in their wealth accounts. We're seeing a retirement crisis. I was actually teaching in that same class I was talking about in the last segment last night. And we were talking about, you know, nobody can retire. People don't have enough. And it's a lot of the baby boomers, people in their 60s right now, even 50s, they're not reaching those retirement goals. And especially right now, we're not seeing soaring markets anymore. Things are changing. Markets are going down. People are losing in their 401ks, their IRAs. So you had mentioned earlier, I believe it was the first segment, the Dow Jones, I think you said over half the stocks are down.
More 27, I think,
27
out of the 30.
Yeah, 27 out of 30
no,
stocks.
I'm sorry. No. Let me look at that again. Only 7 of them are up for the year.
Yeah, so 7 stocks in the Dow Jones are actually up for the year.
23 down.
And that's what people have in their retirement accounts. They have a lot of stocks, and they're not returning what they were hoping to. So I want you to talk about when markets are going down like they are right now, how to ensure your portfolio, basically protect them, the strategies to protect your portfolios, but also have strategies so it doesn't matter which way this market goes with wealth accounts.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about retirement. When you go into retirement, that's a period of time where you don't get a do-over. Whatever you have at that point in time pretty much is what you're going to rely on for the rest of your life. It could be another 20, 30 years. Back years ago when Social Security was put together, the lifespan of an adult male was like 68 years, and they retired at 65. So Social Security only was really intended to last maybe 3 years. Well, things have changed. People are living longer. And a lot of people come into these classes. We hear this every time we do a class, Josh, where somebody comes in and says, I don't understand why the market was up so much last year, but my retirement plan was down.
I know, it's sad.
In 2021, the S&P was up 20%. Yeah, and I think I referenced this study last week. I'm going to reference again because I think it's really critical. It was done by a company called Think Advisor. They found that 57% of older adults reported their retirement savings were down by more than 10% in 2021, even though the market was up 20%. Another 10% said that they suffered a decline of less than 10%, and the rest of the people either had a small increase or their accounts were flat for the year. So how can that happen? Well, there's some things that are kind of inherent with a typical 401k or 403b that really are kind of working against you. One is the cost of it. There are fees associated with those accounts that can have a huge impact on what you could have in retirement.
Yeah.
And it could be 50 to 75% of what you could have is no longer there because those fees that are taken out, not only are there dollars taken out, but those dollars are no longer there compounding. So every dollar that's removed especially when you're younger, might have ended up being $1,000 or $10,000 down the road.
Yeah.
So those fees are huge. And then also the choices are pretty mediocre. And even Jack Bogle, who started Vanguard Mutual Funds, he even agreed with that. He felt most of the returns that people got in mutual funds were mediocre. The fees were way too high. Here's a guy that we kind of consider the godfather of mutual funds, who actually really kind of rallied against mutual funds in the last few years of his life.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is we grow up and, if you have any kids, you probably can relate to this. You try to, teach them the right things, and you're not supposed to do this. You should be doing these things. You're not supposed to swear. And there's actually a couple swear words, and you actually referred to them here in the financial markets. There's two of them. One is the MF word. It's mutual funds. Devastating for retirement accounts.
Correct.
And I want you to talk a little more about that. But also is that four-letter F word. It's fees. And that is what is drawing people's accounts down, because, if you have a broker advisor, nothing against the people, they may be a good guy or good gal and they're your friend. Well, they're your friend because you're paying them a lot of money to basically do nothing, sell you a fund and let it sit in there. So we have a lot of people that Al is talking about coming to these investing classes to see why. Why is your retirement account not performing like the market? How can you do, how can you have the opportunity to do better? What are the strategies for that and how you get started with that? We have investing classes to help people get started with their wealth accounts, 401ks and IRAs. But you got to call right now for 2 tickets. Get your phone ready. So I'm going to give a number, and also a text. You call in right now, you're going to receive 2 tickets plus an insider or a quick start kit to help you get started right away. Call 888-682-6466. That's 888-682-6466. Or you can also text the word invest to the number 484848. So Al, you mentioned, with these stocks that are down, the market, if people are not getting the returns they were hoping for, you got to do something different. You can't just stay in status quo and say, well, everybody lost. Well, don't be everybody. You don't want to be a sheep and just follow the herd all the time. So talk about self-directing. How can investors get started to manage their own accounts? We're seeing a lot of people want to do that right now as well.
Yeah, well, first of all, not everyone lost. In a down market, not everyone loses. There's two sides to a trade. So somebody's losing, somebody else is winning. Make another comment about those 401ks. The 57% of the people that were surveyed lost money, lost more than 10% when the market was up 20%. Also consider this. During that year, when you were down, you were also contributing to the 401k, as was maybe your employer. So if you take those two components out, a lot of these people would have done significantly worse than they thought that they did.
I feel bad for those people that are opening up their statements now for 2022. The market's down has probably amplified losses.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. If you haven't looked at your statement so far for 2022, just be prepared. It's probably not going to look very good. And here's the real problem is that there are things you can do to improve the returns of your 401ks, maybe cut the cost down and eliminate that negative compounding as much as possible. One of the things that we do in these classes is talk about dynamic 401k management. How can you do a better job, or how can your 401ks do a better job for you? There are a lot of things that you're just not being counseled on that are available to you. We talk a lot about that buy and hold strategy. And typically, that's something that the Wall Street firms put together for you, and then it's kind of hands off for them. They just tell you, don't worry about the crashes, don't worry about the corrections, because the market comes back. And so far, it always has, and I believe it always will. But again, you've got that time period. If you retire today at 70 years old and you happen to retire during the year that we have a bear market, or maybe we have a bear market the year after, or the second year you retire, and 40-50% of your retirement money disappears, how comforting is it to you to know that maybe in the next 10 or 20 years you'll get back to where you were when you first retired?
Yeah,
you just don't have those time periods. So it's really critical, whether you are in retirement or you're still working, to learn how to boost the returns of what you have when you're still working, when you're in the income phase. Learn those strategies that have leverage, so you're maximizing the value of every dollar you have, and also learn the strategies that allow you to participate in all three directions of the market, along with the most important thing, which is protection, risk management. Protect what you have. Don't let somebody else end up with what you have worked hard for.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. The markets have three strategies. Don't be, a one basically like a one-trick pony in up markets. There's three different market directions. So, Al, we've had a lot of people call in about this investing class today here, and congratulations to those people that did.
Right.
I do want to give away tickets to that investing class for people that have 401ks and IRAs. Maybe just learn about what they are so you can have a better conversation with your broker. Call right now. Call 888-682-6466 or text the word invest to the number 484848 for 2 tickets for the investing class right here in Denver and Bloomington. Al, coming up next, we're going to be a little more positive. I want to inspire people to get started trading and investing to hopefully make better